you definitely can't see anything with the lights on, but I've got the laser perfectly aligned now with the waterline. But I don't want to draw the line exactly at the waterline. I want it to be slightly above, so I just have to raise the line up slightly, which should be pretty easy with this thing. And then where I'll put the tape. Measuring where the waterline is at the front part of the boat. So I've got this perfectly straight and level. It's even with this front part here. So the distance between here and the waterline is 825 millimeters. Get the laser set up. You can't really see, but it's just perfectly on the correct measurement there. I will mark where the waterline is at the front here, then move the laser back, join the marks on the front and the back, get the right angle, and that's the waterline. Yep. Just about to do the first coat of real paint. I mean, not undercoat. I need to mask off the areas where the non-slip sand is going to go. Got my bag of sand over there somewhere. The idea is that I pour a bit of sand on while the paint is drying, and then you know, once it's dry, you brush the rest off and then you paint over it, and it's like an easy way to get your non-skid stuff. The masking laid out for where the non-skid sand is going to go, and I've masked off the areas where the cleats go through so there isn't sand when I'm trying to screw them down. There's all the way around the side decks. There's another cleat location on the foredeck as well, and another cleat back down the side deck, and then of course the cockpit sole, except the areas around the inspection ports there. So that's where it's going to be rough. Just mildly rough, not super rough. Reasonably fine sand, but it should be enough so that when it's wet, you're not slipping about all over the place on nice glossy paint, which sounds fun, but is actually a huge pain in the butt. The cockpit sole is painted with the first coat of the top coat, or whatever it's called. Got me a cup of sand here. I'm just kind of gonna sprinkle it by hand and just try and get a reasonably even distribution. Let me try this. Just guessing. I guess the higher up I get, the more evenly distributed things are. Probably a good idea. Just kind of scatter it down from on high. Well, there's all the sand in here. Just try and distribute it a little bit, so it's not too concentrated. Okay, well there we go. We got the sand in the cockpit, and we got the sand on the side decks and forward part of the deck here. I've done this before on another boat and it worked pretty good. So I'm hoping it'll just work just as good again. It'll give a nice non-stick surface. Well, this should all be dry now. Pretty stuck on. It can be pretty grippy. Now this is the fun part. Oh, look at that. Sexy as. Oh, there's a bit on there. I'll just scrape that off. We get a nice edge to the grippy stuff. Oh, yeah, that looks super good there. Oh yeah, that's majestic. Approve. Now I noticed this after I'd already sort of painted and put the sand on and everything. I forgot to trim off these bits there and there, make it nice and square on that side. So there's going to be a little bit without any sand there and there. Character? If it really annoys me, I can fix it later. Otherwise, this looks really good. Interested to see how these look. I'm gonna have to take a moment to appreciate this. That was unintended, but that's a pretty awesome side effect of the way I lay down the tape and cut it. I think that actually turned out really nicely with the hexagonal patterns around these holes. I feel like I might have gone a little bit overboard with the sand. There's quite a lot of it. More stuck than I thought was going to, but it's good. It's nice and abrasive. When we get another coat of paint over it, that'll soften it up a little bit. Well, the white paint's all dry here, and it's looking really schmicko. So blue paint is going to go in here, and down under here. And I think that's it. Alright, get all the masking done for the blue parts. I think I'm going to keep the front white. At least we'll see how that looks. Well, that's the first coat of the blue. And that's what it's going to look like on the side. I think it's pretty nice. Also, got the rudder over here getting painted blue. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but I'm hanging it up through these holes, you know, so that I can paint the whole thing and I don't have to deal with all the complications of trying to lay it down on a surface. A few tiny bits here where I went a little bit over the tape. Once I've taken all that off, I can just go over it with a little bit of white to just clear that up. This is the final coat of paint on the boat, I think, the blue. I still have to do the waterline, but this is it, I think. Dare I take off the tape? I dare. That's a pretty tight line. I was worried that it would have bled over more than that. That's not too bad. I think I can probably live with that. Well, that went pretty good. Not 100% sure about my choice here of stopping the blue there and having white there because it's sort of inside the cockpit. Might extend that blue all the way down. See how we went with the rub rail. Oh, that's a sharp line. Oh, a bit of bleed through here, but I'm not surprised actually because you know, there's this little bump here. Yeah, the rub rails turned out pretty good. The line is really nice and sharp. There she is right there. That's the paint job. At least the one that I'm going with right now.